I started in a subway station, clutching a worn briefcase and dreaming of something bigger than myself. And now I own the Skyline. It's funny how life twists, how every small step forward feels like a gamble. And yet somehow, I knew I could turn the tide if I just kept pushing. I am Helena Montez, 35 years old, a senior bank executive in New York City, working behind the scenes while the world sees only the polished image I carefully craft. I have kept my secret wealth hidden from everyone, even most of my colleagues, because trust is a fragile thing, and power is best kept close to the chest. It was a quiet, relentless ambition that drove me from the very beginning, the kind of fire that burns not just for success, but for justice, for retribution, for proving everyone wrong. I remember the day I first realized how much the game was rigged against someone like me, born into humble beginnings. I was just a teller then, sitting behind a glass window, handing out cash and dreams to the few who dared to hope their financial struggles could someday end. But inside, I knew I was destined for more, and I played the part, working tirelessly, learning every angle, every loophole, every weakness of the system. Then, one night, after a long shift, I discovered a flaw in the bank's investment software, something no one else noticed or cared about, and my mind lit up. I saw an opportunity, a way to turn my small savings into a fortress. Slowly, I began to seed my wealth, discreetly investing millions that no one knew I had. As I climbed the corporate ladder, secure in my abilities and the shadows I hid behind, I watched as others played their petty games, oblivious to the storm I was quietly brewing. I knew I had to be smart, patient, ruthless even, because the higher I rose, the more I risked. But I was no stranger to betrayal. I had trusted the wrong people, been blindsided by friends and family who believed my success was a threat, not a blessing. They called me just a teller once, a small-time girl with big dreams that could never be real. But I proved them wrong, didn't I? I bought the entire branch, all the shares, all the power, and I kept my secret wealth hidden beneath layers of legal shields and corporate structures. I achieved what most only dream of, but never dare to pursue. Then came the moment when everything changed, when I thought I finally had it all. I was about to announce my greatest deal, my most ambitious investment, and in that very moment, I saw the look in his eyes. The man I loved, the one I trusted with everything. That day I found out he'd been betraying me, using my secrets to leverage his. I remember the hollow echo of his voice as he lied, the betrayal dripping from every word like poison. My heart shattered, but my mind stayed focused. This was war. I knew then I had to act fast, to retaliate in a way he'd never see coming. I used my knowledge, my wealth, my influence to set into motion a plan that would leave him powerless, exposed, humiliated. I waited, patient and cold, until the moment was perfect. When I finally turned the tables, it was like a beautiful, icy dawn. I revealed his betrayal in the boardroom, watching as his face drained of color, as his empire crumbled in the space of a few minutes. I stood tall amid the wreckage, knowing I had finally secured my justice. No one saw it coming. No one knew how I had orchestrated this masterstroke of revenge. The sneers, the whispers, the betrayal, they all cascaded into a storm that I had carefully brewed. Now I own my story, my power, my future. I have learned that betrayal only fuels my fire. And in the end, justice served cold is the sweetest victory of all. If you love Helena's journey, like and subscribe to join her next chapter, because the game is never over, and I am just getting started.